Hello, everybody, and I hope you're having a blessed day. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I'm not sure I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to be honest. I was watching a lot of videos. The family was together because of the holidays, and they were watching a lot of YouTube videos. They were watching a lot of videos on Black Fridays and the different things that people were buying, and I realized just how out of touch I really am on things. Um, there was people that they were talking about $200 money, to buy snacks for the kids. That was their budget, and this was just snacks, chips, ding dongs, fruit rolls, Kool-Aid drinks, just nonsense. And people, Pioneer Woman had a set of dishes on sale for Black Friday for $30. And I'm sitting here thinking, huh? And people think this is a deal. And I'm looking in my refrigerator, and I want you to see this. This is what my refrigerator looks like. It has nothing in it. And I'm watching people going out spending $500 packing it in. And I come to realize just how out of touch I am with what people are really doing out there and how they're really spending their money. There was a woman showing a Pioneer Woman's platter. It was, $11. It was on sale. I'm thinking, $11 for that, what are you going to put on it after you buy it? As high as meat is going, I'm sitting there thinking, really? What are you going to serve on it? You think maybe the Thanksgiving turkey this year, but what about later? I don't know. But I'm not kidding you, this is how my refrigerator is. I like to keep it this way. I put my milk into a gallon. I think it's fresher and better and stays fresher that way. I also keep some tea, no sugar. The two silver things you see in aluminum, that is right there up front because that's what I will cook tomorrow morning to make sure it's out of the way. It is some potato pancakes from yesterday. That's what's left over, and I will reheat them for breakfast tomorrow. I have nothing else in my refrigerator but some eggs in the bottom from my chickens. I have a head of cabbage, which I'm going to give you a recipe at the end of this video of what I'm going to do with that cabbage. There's a few corn tortillas, and there are some limes because every morning, vitamin C, hot limes. Limes are cheaper than lemons, and that's why I use them. A drink with a little bit of honey in it, and a cup of tea. And of course, in the side of the door, you've got your ketchup, your mayonnaise, I have some jalapenos there, a small jar of peanut butter. I need to clean the ketchup bottle. I have a couple of, I don't drink soda, my Nutter Butter does. He keeps a couple of sodas in there. The eggs in the side of the door. The other ones I keep underneath where a lot of people keep luncheon meat. I don't care for luncheon meat. I really don't make sandwiches like from luncheon meat, so I really don't have it on hand. Have a little bit of sour cream there. That's it. And the Sweeto from when I was sick, I still have it there. I just don't keep things in my refrigerator, and I feel like maybe this is why I don't do so great. I'm just so out of touch compared to what other people are doing and how they're spending money. And I just don't live that way. I can't. But I'm going to give you a recipe. When I was growing up in Tennessee, there was almost every place sold some sort of food. I worked at it was a gas station, kind of like Circle K. And it sold fried chicken and in slow cookers. They had several slow cookers. And it had white beans in it, and then you'd make cornbread, and, they'd set cornbread out. But they also served, like, fried chicken and, the white beans and coleslaw. But it was my job. I made the coleslaw and the fried chicken. And I ran the register also. I was 17 years old, and I liked working there. You know, a great place to work. But I learned something from being there. And at the end of the day, whatever chicken was left over, you took it off the bone. I had to chop it up, and it went into a huge plastic bag. Now, I fry my own chicken, and I fry chicken just for this recipe, actually. And I'll fry 4 or 5 pieces. And what they did with the leftover chicken is they made barbecue chicken sandwiches. Okay? Now, I picked Stubbs barbecue sauce. It's not overly sweet, and I can add a little bit of brown sugar to it because their original, Stubbs original, isn't sweet at all. And I can add just a little bit of brown sugar to it to give it a little bit of sweetness. I also use that chili chipotle. Now here I'm cutting up the chicken. Now this is skin and all. This is everything. I didn't use all the chicken. I put some of it in the Ziploc bag and I'll freeze it because I will make this again before the end of the, well, maybe not before the end of this month, but I'll make it for next month for sure. This is one of my quick go-to meals, like some people do ham and bologna sandwiches. This is, to me, is my quick meal. There's the chili chipotles. I had 1.5. When I opened the can, I just showed you the can. But when I open the can, whatever I don't use, I put in a small jar and put it in the freezer to use it later at another time. And that's what I did. I had some left over in a jar in my freezer door of my refrigerator. I'm going to add that to it. Now, you don't have to add anything. You could just add some Louisiana hot sauce instead of this, or whatever hot sauce you like. And with your barbecue sauce, or you could just use barbecue sauce. You do not have to add anything other than barbecue sauce to it if you don't want to. They didn't there. It was nothing but strictly barbecue sauce. They had a bottle of hot sauce sitting on the countertop, and anybody who wanted to add hot sauce to the top of their sandwich, that's exactly what they did. They just threw some hot sauce on top of that sandwich or ate it that way. Now, here it is in the slow cooker. I am going to put this in a slow cooker. That's how it was served there. This was reheated into a slow cooker with some barbecue sauce over it, and that was it. Like I said, people put hot sauce. I add my chili chipotle to it and my barbecue sauce also. And I'm going to let this cook on low for an hour, hour and a half. Great for, like, let's say you want to go shopping and you know everybody's going to be starving when you get home. This will be ready by the time you finish your your shopping, and you get home and it's ready. But what are you going to serve with it? Well, now you can make some potato salad or something else. But oh, the cool creaminess of homemade coleslaw, it just tops it off perfectly. Now, I'm putting into this bowl a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, 1/3 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of milk, 1/4, okay, of milk, 1 tablespoon and a half of vinegar. And you see, that's the sugar. And then I'm going to mix in the milk, and then I'm going to mix it all together. There's 1/4 cup of milk. Now I add 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. If you want a little bit more, you can. You can, after you stir it together and everything, and you got it mixed in with the coleslaw, you can kind of taste it and see if you think it's got enough salt or enough black pepper to suit your taste. And you can always add a little more. I make this part first because I set it to one side and kind of let the flavors come together. The mayonnaise, the sugar, the milk, and then the vinegar. And let it just sit there while I get the coleslaw ready. My family doesn't like the bagged coleslaw. Now, the recipe that was there was this humongous. I mean, It was this really big page, and I had to break it down to make this for personal use. And I'm going to tell you something. It was not easy for me to figure that out, to do that. I had to ask a friend for some help with it, and she helped me with it. And I got it broke down so that I could use this at home for myself. And because I loved the coleslaw there. I really did, except they used a premix that you would buy. It would come in big, huge bags, the cabbage and the carrots. And you throw it into this huge bowl. Yeah, and I had to hand mix the rest of the stuff. And, of course, I don't remember anymore. Because, like I said, I broke it down. I didn't need the recipe for all of that. So I really didn't worry about it. Like, you had to mix, like, a huge gallon thing of mayonnaise and everything in there. But here, I shred the coleslaw. Now, I do that for a reason, because my family does not like coleslaw that has huge hunks in it. And almost all the coleslaw, wherever restaurant you go to, it does. Because they use a premix that comes in a bag. And it's mechanically cut, and it's not done by hand. And I will even pick out small or bigger pieces when I'm mixing the coleslaw. I will pick out bigger pieces of it. And because my family doesn't like it. They love it the way it's tiny and small. Now this calls for 8 cups of shredded cabbage. Now it calls for 1/4 of a cup of carrots. But I'm going to be honest, I put a lot more than that in there. I put half a whole cup. I don't care. I put quite a bit of carrots in there. And I think it makes it taste better. And then after I got that mixed together, I will pour remember the mayonnaise, the sugar, the milk, the vinegar that I had in that little red bowl. I'm going to pour that over the top of this. And then I'm going to mix it together, all of this together. And then I'm going to set it in the refrigerator and let it get nice and cold. And that heat of that barbecue sauce, because that barbecue is going to be a little bit spicy. And in Tennessee, pulled pork barbecue sandwiches, oh, let me tell you, do they ever dump the hot sauce on top of those sandwiches? I mean, it's like they throw the whole bottle on there. And some people even put the coleslaw right on top of that pork sandwiches too, pulled pork. But I like to serve it on the side, okay? But that's just me. Now I'm going to tell you something. My grandmother kind of took this recipe for this chicken from me, because when she would butcher an old rooster or a really old hen, they can be really tough. You don't usually fry them because they're just too tough to eat. But she would fry them, because after she'd fry them, she'd do what I do. She'd take all the meat off the bone with the skin and everything, and that crispy chicken, skin to it. And she would put it in that slow cooker with that barbecue sauce. And she would, first though, she didn't put the barbecue sauce right away. She'd let that chicken go into that slow cooker and let it cook for an hour or two and just stir it. She would just constantly stir it around. Then she would add the barbecue sauce to it and let it cook. Now here you see I toasted some buns, and her chicken would come out really tender after she did that. It really did. It was amazing. But I toasted my hamburger buns. I bought them, store, and there's my coleslaw. Now, I'm going to tell you, I had enough to make 6 of these sandwiches out of 3, 2 thighs and a leg. This is wonderful. My family loved this. It's one of those recipes I did a long time ago and forgot all about it. I have learned and cooked and worked at so many different places, and sometimes I forget things, and that's why it's important to keep the refrigerator empty, because it forces you to use your mind to remember and to make new things and do things that you may have even forgotten about. Well, I hope you enjoy this. Hope this helps you. And God bless you, and have a blessed day.